Hello students, I'm going to talk a little bit about conflict immunizations today and do some coding. So first thing, I'm going to navigate to our shared drive and we're going to look at the conflict folder, and we have this Google Sheet right here, the conflict surveys included. Excuse me. So these are all the surveys that we need to code. There are, let me scroll down here, sorry the computer is slow. There are 103. Some of them are already coded. So if we look at this H column, Lauren has done quite a bit of work. She's done 27, I believe. And so we are going to start from row 29. And Afghanistan, we don't have a GPS file available right now, so we can wait. We're going to go straight to, we're going to skip the mix. I'm going to come back to that. We're first going to go to Benin. Alright, so now I'm back to our file. In the conflict immunizations folder, you see that we have these .do files. A .do file, that is a data file. So I'm just going to open it. I'm going to open the compiling immunizations first. This is our master file that's going to take all of this different survey data sets from UNICEF and DHS, and it's going to transform them into one very nice and neat data set. Very easy. Okay. Now we're going to start. And so with this do file, all this green text, it all has an asterisk. You have your line numbers here. All your green text has an asterisk in front. Those are just notes to ourselves. So this tells me we have Afghanistan, and then it looks like there's an issue with the age and months in Afghanistan. We can fix that pretty easy. And then Angola, and so this is a 2015-2016. Then this is an actual command. All right. So the first command is to bring in this Angola data set. Now, I'm on a Mac, and so my file paths are a little bit different. So I'm going to navigate actually to the, I want another, let's see. I'm going to navigate to our survey data sets folder on the drive, right? So this is the raw data. Okay. And the first one that we're going to do is Benin. So I'm going to navigate to Benin on the 2011-2012. And I'm going to open up the child file. I don't care about old data. That's fine. Where's my data window? Okay. So I opened up the child file, right? And I can push browse or type browse in. That shows me the data set, and you see like it's crazy amount of data. It goes on and on and on. The number of variables is way more than we want. We want just a few things. So we're going to trim this down. Now here we tell it to call another do file. And so let's take a look and see what that do file is. It's in the conflict dataset or conflict folder, conflict immunizations, and it's called the DHS manipulating do file. And here you see it's creating a variable called mother's age, called family size, called health card immunizations, or it's creating BCG, polio, 1, 2, 3, DPT, 1, 2, 3, measles. And it has a schedule, creating a schedule of immunizations. And then we has a level of immunizations, not at all, partially, fully. It gives us urban, rural, child's age in years, mother's education, wealth. And then it keeps only those variables that we want. That's pretty interesting. After that, we create a new variable called country, and then we create a new variable called survey, and that's what it is for Angola. And then we save it in a nice space. We don't save over the raw data ever. All right. So let's do Benin. I'm going to type in 3 asterisks. Remember the asterisks? That means those are notes to ourselves. Now, a couple ways to do this. First is I loaded up from the survey datasets folder, I loaded up Benin's child file by double clicking. Child file, bam. It's loaded up. That I can copy and paste this. I have to get rid of this little greater than sign. I can copy and paste that, or I can just go up here to the review, right click, copy, paste. I did option V, right? I'm going to type in comma clear, not in caps. That just tells data to clear out previous data. Use this one, right? And then let's go through Benin and make sure things work. So first, looking at mother's age, we have 5 categories coded here. 99 is missing. We start out, we say gen, that's short for generate a new variable called mother's age. It is equal to V013. So let's tab V013 and see what it is. V013 is age in 5-year groups. It goes through, okay. So we're just making mother age exactly equal to this. So I'm going to highlight just this row and run it. Okay. And then I'm going to tab V013 with mother age. And it's exactly equal. If you're 15 to 19 in V013, you're 1 in mother's age. 2, it's nice and easy. All these zeros, nice neat pattern. That's fine. But I don't like having small numbers of people in the category. And statistics actually doesn't like that. So these 200 women and these 800 women, let's combine them with these up here. And the thinking, when we collapse categories, the thinking is they're not so different. Now these teenage mothers, they're way different. They're going to be way different than mothers in their 20s in terms of if you're a mother as a teenager, you're a little bit less educated, you're a little bit less mature, you're less wealthy. So in terms of influencing whether or not a child gets immunized, I'm expecting those teenage mothers to actually have less children immunized than the older women. One sec, I'm gonna see if I can pause. I can't pause. Alright, one second, I got someone at the door, and so you're gonna have to fast forward in a little bit because I don't know how to work technology very well. One second. Sorry, you got my email?
No, I just got here. What did you say?
So Mavi, she emailed me and said that she couldn't make it.
Oh, that's fine.
And that was the reason to get everybody else who talked to us approved. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. We can schedule. Took it off my calendar. Forgot to tell you. Forgot to tell Carolina. You both show up. I'm trying to record a video.
That's okay.
Sorry about it.
That's okay. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you next week. You're set, right? You have some
Yes.
work on.
Did you see Carolina today?
I think she came. I had my door closed because I'm recording.
Oh, okay. Because I haven't been able to get her today, but
She might be in the lab, hopefully.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Bye.
All right. Have a good weekend. All right. I'll see if I can edit that later. I may not have been able to edit it, and so hopefully it's only a minute or two. Yeah. So, talking about these mothers that are teenagers, they're so different from mothers that are in their 20s. And so we want to conserve that. These mothers in their late 40s, I don't think they're going to be all that different from mothers in their early 40s. All the children are under age 5, so it's like if you have a baby when you're 46, 47, is that really different from when you're 41, 42? I don't know. There's not too many. So we're just going to collapse all these and say 35 or older. Maybe that's wrong. If it is wrong, it's easy to fix for all the data sets. Anyways, so now we're going to replace mother age equal to 5 if mother age is greater than 5, right? So if we tab mother age, you have these 6 and 7s, so we're going to replace it, right? So we just run that, and then we look at mother age and we see there's only 5 groups. And then we say if mother age is missing, we're going to replace it as 99. And that's a thing for Stata, or for R when we do matching. So now if we tab V013 with mother age, we have this nice thing we saw before, but then we also have these other women who are older, but in our age groups, there we lumped them in with the 35 and older crowd. That's all set. Family size. Now, if we want to look at, if we're trying to figure this out, I guess we'll get there with mix. So with family size, we want to code it as 5 or fewer, 6 to 12, or 13 or more. Thinking here, perhaps if there's a larger family, then maybe there's fewer resources to go around. I don't know. So we actually start from the top. So our variable that we're using is v136, and so let's tab that. And it's the number of members listed in the household listing. And it ranges from 1 all the way up to 35 for Benin. And so we want to collapse all of these children to have the same value, say they come from large families. Then these ones right here, 6 to 12, we're going to collapse them. They come from medium families, large by American standards. And then these ones come from small families. Maybe it's bigger than 2 is large now, maybe bigger than 3. All right, so now we start from the top. So if we tab, we don't have any missing values, so I typed in tab v136 comma missing. That shows us any missing values. So what we do is we say gen family size equals 2 as long as it's not missing. Okay, and let's do that. And we can say tab v136 family size. And now we say everything's 2. And you say, well, why'd you do that? Let's see. Then we use a bit of logic. Now we say if v136 is less than 13, we'll switch it to 1. Now let's tab v136. Excuse me. Family size. And now we see family size. It's 2 for the big families, but everything else is 1. And then we have one more to do. If it's less than 6, we need to code it as 0. Right? And so we have small families here coded as 0, medium families coded as 1, and large families coded as 2. Family size is done. Same thing with health card. Let's go to health card. Health card, we're using H1. Right? Now H1 has this 9. That means they have no idea. Okay? Then they don't have a card anymore. They have a card. It's been, but they don't show it to the surveyor, the interviewer. They have a card and they do show it, and they don't have a card. All right. So we say if it's 1, we're gonna say here. Let's create a new variable called health card as long as it's not unknown. Okay. So then we see that there are a lot of children, 728 and plus 28, so that many children, where we don't know if they have a health card or not. Now 28 of these children had a value of 9. 728, where do they come from? They're not listed up here. We have to use our missing option, and then there they are, right? So that's fine. We have them coded correctly as missing. Then let's say, and everything else coded as 1. But the issue is here, our no cards are coded wrong and are no longer carded. And I think maybe our no longer will include as having a card. It's like received a card at birth. So I'm going to tab H1 and I'm going to say no label. And then we see that the no card is coded as 0, and then these are 1, 2, 3, then we have 9. So all we need to do is replace it, health card equals 0 if H1 equals 0. I'm going to copy that, and that's fine. And then I'm going to say make it 99 if health card is missing. And that's for R for matching. If we look at health card now, we have this 5% missing, and we have 10% that don't have them, and then 85% that 84% that do. And if we look at V or H1 health card, then we see this nice pattern where our ones, yes, they've seen it, yes, they had it, they used to have it, but they don't have it anymore. That is all equal to 1 in our health card. No card is equal to 0. Then our missing is equal to 99. Looks good. Same thing BCG. Okay, we're going to go BCG and go through, and it's basically the same thing all throughout. Now, the nice thing about this is that this is recorded, so we can actually type clear. Okay, we can pull in our data set from Benin, and then we can run this, and it just ran. So all that data was then condensed. We now have, if you see my mouse over here, we now have our cluster number, our household number, our region, but then we have our mother age, family size, health card, all our vaccines, our vaccine schedule, our immunized, our urban age, education of the mother, and the wealth. And that data set's done. So I can copy um, this last command that I did and paste it. Ah, what's happening? Get back where you were. Okay, got it. And then paste it right here. Right? And that's really nice. Now if I wanted, I can just select this and run all those together. And it runs, no problem. Okay. Then I need to create a new variable called country. So I'm going to say gen, and I use this str, that's short for string variable. So I'm telling, usually when you create a variable, we use generate, you create a numeric variable. But this I don't want it to be numeric, I want it to be a string. And then when I create it, I have to use the quotations. And so whatever string value is that in that quotation. So I created a new variable called country that's a string, called it Benin. And I called it Benin because I'm using the Benin dataset. Then I do the same thing for survey. And I say that's the survey. And I use the same number, use all this right here, right? So the same conventions. And then I save. Okay, so I'm going to run these two things. I'm going to click File, Save As. Then I have to navigate to the right spot. Alright, the shared drive, the conflict immunizations, the survey dataset. Now if you'll notice, maybe you can't see, this is called 2014 DHS Bangladesh. We're going to have to change that. Bangladesh, DHS Angola immunizations. I like that one. Right? So this the date, the type of survey, the country, and then immunizations.dta. All right. So this is, we don't want to save over our child file, our raw data. So I'm going to delete that. 2011-12 DHS Benin immunizations. Cool. Now I can copy. So if I click that, there's that command. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it right here. I'm going to put a comma and type replace. That means I'm going to save over it. I'm going to change Bangladesh, and I'm going to add immunizations. Good. Then I'm going to just real quick save my do file. So Benin is done, right? This will run, and I can run it. There's no errors, no red text. So say, for example, there's a typo somewhere. Then we would see it stop. Oh, it stopped. There's a typo. It doesn't know what the thing N is. All right. So Benin is done. That's what needs to be done for all of the DHS. All right. We already have this do file created. This manipulating DHS, and all the rest of the DHS should be very easy, very straightforward. So Benin, I'll come down here and I'll say yes, Larson.